Transnet's plan to open its rail network to private operators is gaining traction, with 11 train operating companies granted access to the system. Out of 25 companies that apply to use state-owned rail infrastructure to transport minerals, 11 have been shortlisted to move forward to the next round of negotiations. The state currently moves about 160 million tons of cargo annually through its rail network, but it requires support from the private sector to handle an additional 90 million tons. Addressing a media briefing in Pretoria today, Transport Minister Barbara Creecy announced the selected companies will be allocated slots across Transnet's 41 routes.
New entrants who have met the requirements will receive conditional award letters outlining award conditions, including the need to complete the Railway Safety Regulator's permit applications, rolling stock readiness, securing port offloading capacity, and other operational processes.
The Gauteng Education Department has received nearly 740,000 Grade 1 and 8 applications for the 2026 academic year admissions. This has been revealed during a briefing this morning where the department has been giving an update on its online application process. With the applications closing next week, MEC Matume Chilwane says it's crucial for parents to utilize the little time left to apply. Speaking at the Eden Glen Primary School in Ekurhuleni, Chilwane says this will ensure that children are placed in the province's public schools.
Beyond being accessible online, we've opened working centers, we've opened access to all our public schools. All our over 2,200 public schools in Gauteng, we've opened access to all our district offices, and including the head office, so that parents can go there to get assistance should they have problems while they are applying.
Chilwane has warned that after the 29th of August, no further applications will be accepted.
And it should be noted that after the 29th of August, no new application will be accepted. None. So parents, make sure that by the 29th of August, you have applied for your children.
SA Steel Mills employees who have not been paid for more than 7 months now are picketing outside the Industrial Development Corporation offices in Sandton. The company is in a business rescue process and it has requested for expressions of interest from potential buyers. This is the second time the employees impacted by the almost year-long process are picketing at the IDC. Metal Workers Union NUMSA, representing the 700 affected workers, will be handing over a memorandum of demands to call for the IDC to intervene. NUMSA spokesperson Paramile Hlubi Majola.
The IDC is the shareholder at SA Steel Mills. And right now, SA Steel Mills is currently under business rescue. Our members are very frustrated because this business rescue process is taking very long and seems to be no end in sight.
And Kenyan police have exhumed 5 bodies from suspected mass graves linked to an infamous starvation cult that came to light in 2023. The fresh discoveries come after the Mombasa court adjourned the ongoing case of Good News International Church leader Paul Ntenge Mackenzie, citing the discovery of new evidence. The exhumations mirror patterns in 2023, where more than 400 bodies were uncovered in the Shakahola forest linked to the church. Authorities say the remains were in a state of decomposition, indicating that they had been underground for over a year. Gold is trading at $3,331.69 an ounce. The rand is at 17.66 to the dollar, 23.69 to the pound, 20.48 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $67.54 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N12 as well as the R24 west between Edenville Road and the Giludi's interchange. That's due to road works taking place along this route. While travelling along the M2 west in the Amalgam area, delays from the Crown interchange towards Main Reef Road, while in Cape Town we've got faulty traffic lights reported in Avondale. There's an accident reported in Avondale at Francis Conrad Street. It's causing delays. Please be on the lookout there while roadworks are taking place along the R300 southbound in the right lane before the N2. Expect delays there.
It's a fine afternoon in Gauteng today. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 28 and 29 degrees, while Cape Town is partly cloudy with isolated showers and rain at a high of 16. The top story in EWN this hour: a 3-month-old baby has been rushed to hospital after being caught in gang crossfire in Bonteheuwel.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app. 702 on 92.7 and 106 FM.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app
And on DSTV channel 856.
On the show today, we speak to the Gauteng Education Department as the applications for online admissions close in exactly a week. Crime intelligence boss Dumsani Khumalo is back in court, but this time he wants his bail conditions to be amended. And we go to a village in Limpopo where there are the people there seem to be blessed with long life. There are more centenarians living there than anywhere else in the country. And of course, it's Friday, so sports and good things too.
walking this talk together.
Every hour.
Every day. This is 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday Report with me, Khomotso Modise. I'm in for Mandy Wiener this afternoon and it's good to be with you. Happy Friday. We've made it to the end of yet another week. It's been a busy week, a busy news week, I think, but also a warmer week. I don't know. That makes me really happy. I don't know how I missed the memo that today was going to be even warmer, because if you can see me, I am in a jersey, a full thick jersey, a winter jersey, because I thought, it's winter. But my colleagues in the office today are looking lovely and sporty, short T-shirts. I don't know, man. Summer is here. Or is it spring? It's here. And I'm excited for the new season. I hope that you are as excited as I am. Quite the show that we have coming up today right here on the Midday Report. So let's start with that first story. The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 Cape Talk is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. Think bigger, think Nedbank Commercial Banking. All right, let's start with the story now. So it's that time of the year where school admissions, online admissions are the talk. If you have a little one, particularly a child going to grade 1 and grade 8, I suppose this is a story that you are particularly interested in. And for that story, we've got Steve Mabona, who's the spokesperson of the Gauteng Education Department. Steve, I know that there's been a press briefing today to give an update on what's been happening so far in terms of online applications. So let's start with how many applications for online admission have you received so far?
A good day, Khomotso, and to all our listeners. It's a little bit chilly outside, depends on how old you are, maybe. We have received over 700,000 applications. Out of those, just over 300,000 will be for grade 1, and just over 400,000 will then be for grade 8. And we are actually anticipating that if we can close the system being on over 800,000, then we'll be satisfied. Because I'll tell you why. A parent would have applied to 5 schools or 3. And if you take that number down, then you'll go to about 400 spaces that we have, and we will be making sure that all those spaces are filled. So we just want to encourage parents to not to delay further, apply during this application period, which closes on the 29th of August.
And in terms of just the trends when you compare to last year, Steve, the numbers that you're seeing currently, are they more than usual or less?
Looking at the time that we are in now, the numbers are a little bit more, which is something that is really encouraging. And it shows that parents are accustomed to utilization of the system. They can navigate in it. Some are attesting that it takes actually lesser in terms of the minutes that they spend on the system, because we improve it on a yearly basis. I mean, we are on the 10th year, utilizing this system and navigating in it. So we interact with our parents, stakeholders, everyone that is interested. Immediately after the placement period is done, just to check on how we did and how we can improve the system further. So it's easily managed, and it's encouraging that the numbers are improving year in, year on.
And, as you speak to the improvement every year, Steve, almost every year, there'll be this problem or that challenge with the system. How has it fared so far? Have we received any complaints? Any glitches been flagged?
Look, I'm in a school now. They're making announcements. No, look, the improvements are done, like yearly, like just I've indicated. And that assists us to make sure that we monitor very closely on what is happening in the system. So that's why when you check in the system now on the status of your application, it will indicate on what is it that must happen. Like, for instance, your status will say your documentation is partially verified. So that means you then need to interact with the school and check on when they say partially, verified. What is it that they mean? It means documentation that probably you need to verify to say this is what is expected, or missing documents. It will indicate that documents are missing. But some parents will say, no, but I submitted all documents. What do they mean when they say documents are missing? You'll find that a school that would have verified the documents, they don't look at the feeder zone in terms of your address. They focus on probably if you applied within 30 kilometer radius or beyond. They would not be much strict on the address because it will come at the end of the process. But if you applied within the feeder zone, they look at the home address, which sometimes there's a contestation on the proof of address. You'll find that what you put on the system is not what, when you present, it's reflective on the proof of address. So that's where the problem might be.
And what should parents be aware of as they apply over the next week? I can imagine you're expecting a sharp increase in the number of parents that will now apply in the final stretch. What should they be aware of?
In that sharp increase, we just want to caution parents because we've realized in the system we have incomplete applications. We have parents that will, access the system, they create their credentials, register the child that they want to apply for and leave the system. Some will do the two and also, provide the address and choose schools, but then don't upload documents or even submit them at those schools. So we just want to encourage parents to make sure that if you enter the system, complete the course, at the end of your application, an SMS should tell you that you are done with the application process. Even if you didn't upload documents, the SMS will tell you that you are done with the process, but you still need to upload documents. And there are SMS notifications that will be prompting parents to make sure that they complete their application. So we just want to call upon them to do that. Make sure that the documents are certified and, they are not beyond 3 months in terms of the proof. And we really need parents not to borrow addresses.
Yeah. Steve, every year we've seen challenges in certain areas like Midrand and Centurion where there'll be a lot more children that need to be placed than the schools available. What is the department doing in terms of provision for the coming year?
We'll be opening new schools. We'll also be providing mobile units in all the high pressure areas. We've already identified on the number of mobile units that we're going to provide. We are finalizing the process of making sure that those schools that can build extra classes, they continue to do that. Because when you look back, we've increased our capacity in all the schools, most especially in the high pressure, where we gave them money to build. Schools have been building from 4 to 6 classes to even 8 classrooms where they expanded. So we're going to be monitoring very closely and make sure that we support them, most especially in the high pressure areas. But what we want to call upon parents is patience. The high pressure areas, if a school receives 3,000 applications and they have only a capacity of 250, What does that tell you? Over 2,000 parents will not be happy, and they will be calling the station to say, no, this system does not work. We applied there, we could not be accommodated. But our challenge, it's only capacity, not the system.
All right. Let's leave it there. Thank you so much. Steve Mabona is the spokesperson for the Gauteng Education Department. If you're a parent out there and you have been, on the system, on the online admissions application process, I want to hear from you. Are you experiencing it as smoothly as, Steve details, or are there more glitches than we may know of? 072-702-1702. 072-702-1702 is the WhatsApp line that you can get in touch with us on.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 and Cape Talk is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently.
All right, let's move to this story now. So, crime intelligence boss Dumisani Khumalo is back in the Pretoria Magistrates Court today, and he's bringing a bid for him to return to work. Now, he faces charges of corruption and fraud that was related to the appointment of a 30-year-old Dineo Mukwele to an executive position within crime intelligence, and that appointment was done in April 2024. Now, this was despite Mukwele having no policing capabilities or knowledge or skills. And so that case has been in the courts for a short while now. However, Khumalo still wants to return to work, even though he faces these really serious charges. Thabiso Koba, EWN reporter, is out in Pretoria, and he joins us now on the show. Thabiso, maybe let's start here. Has Dumisani Khumalo been suspended after he was charged with corruption?
Good afternoon, Khomoto. I don't know if the word suspension is the correct word, but what happened is he was precautionary transferred to another division within SAPS. And I mean, Khomoto, we will play a bit of a soundbite from his lawyer regarding that matter. I don't know if you want to play it now, but there has been a development in terms of the internal investigation that SAPS has conducted regarding Dumisani Khumalo's conduct regarding to this matter.
The relevant change of circumstances in this application is the fact that after my release on bail, an internal investigation was concluded against me, during which time I was temporarily transferred as a precautionary. The outcome of this investigation exonerated me and my precautionary transfer was terminated. At the time of deposing to this affidavit, I was unable, however, to obtain this confirmation formally from the National Commissioner. I have, however, been informed that my precautionary transfer has been lifted and that I am required to resume my employment duties. Your Worship, at this juncture, it seems necessary to pause. We have received, dated as on today's date, the 22nd of August, communications from the National Commissioner of the SAPS, which supports the content of this affidavit. I beg leave to hand that up.
All right, so, I mean, Thabiso, I hear that argument that's been made. Is the state opposing that he return to work?
Well, at this stage, Khomoto, the proceedings have just begun in earnest. The gentleman that we just heard now speaking was Mr. Abre Lobsa. So he's representing Mr. Dumisani Khumalo, and he's representing another accused here, Mr. Likalale, who's the general head of intelligence within the SAPS intelligence. So obviously the matter didn't, as I said, they just started in earnest. There was an application by the media that the judge had to consider. Fortunately, the media was eventually granted permission to actually record and tape these proceedings, hence why we have a recording. So we do understand that the state will obviously be opposing the relaxation of the bail conditions from the 4 of the 7 accused are making those applications to have their bail conditions relaxed. And one of the arguments that have been put forward by Dumisani Khumalo's lawyers is that they have been furnished with the names of the witnesses, and Dumisani Khumalo is confident that if he does return to work, that he won't be in a position where he gets into direct contact with these witnesses. Now, obviously, the names of these witnesses are obviously confidential, but what we have been told, or what has been argued in court, is that these witnesses are unlikely to be in direct contact with Mr. Dumsani Khumalo, meaning they're obviously part of maybe a different office, or maybe they are part of a different division within crime intelligence. And obviously, the second reason, as you've heard in that voice clip that we just played now, is that an internal investigation has been done into Mr. Dumsani Khumalo, and he has been exonerated. So obviously, for him to continue his duties, for him to continue his work, he has to be accepted back into his job. He has to be accepted back into the premises of the crime intelligence officers.
Yeah. All right, EWN reporter Thabiso Koba out at the Pretoria Magistrates Court today. I find it really interesting that this is happening, especially after, was it General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi during that explosive press briefing where he pointed out how the court, he said, and I'm going to paraphrase, he said that the court had seemingly overstepped its mark by dictating on employment issues around Khumalo, and saying basically that the court had no grounds to say that Khumalo, shouldn't report to a certain office for work. Yeah, but Thabiso Koba from EWN will be keeping us posted throughout the day. Real growth needs more than just banking, and Nedbank Commercial Banking is your growth partner. Their team of industry experts understand your business and its potential, offering insight to help you see opportunity where others see obstacles. Because when you can see what others don't, you can do what others can't. Think bigger. Think Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
When it comes to protecting your workforce, trust the workwear brand that has been protecting workers for over 150 years, Sweetall. Sweetall has overalls and uniform solutions for every industry, so your team is safe, comfortable, and ready to tackle any challenge. Visit our new Boksburg showroom, shop A1 Atlas Road, Westwood, Boksburg, or go to sweetall.com today. Sweetall, we never let you down. Superior protective workwear since 1871.
We love rating things, our phones, our cars, but our health? Your health lets you do what you love with the people you love. So who are you staying healthy for, and how can you improve your health? Choose Dis-Chem Life, the life cover that helps you live a healthier, more rewarding, longer life with regular health checks. Visit dischemlife.co.za now. Dis-Chem Life. Choose a better partner for life. Dis-Chem Life is an authorized FSP 50594, underwritten by Guardrisk Life, a licensed life insurer, FSP 76. T's and C's apply.
When doing business in the Netherlands, be direct, but never in Taiwan. Greet with 3 air kisses in Belgium. Right, left, and right again. But in Japan, it's a bow. Not too high, not too low, or too long. Go big on small talk in Spain. They love that. But skip it completely in Switzerland. Getting it right pays dividends. So invest offshore with a partner who has 26 years experience in global markets, because investing in foreign markets isn't foreign to us.
Coronation. Trust is earned. Coronation is an authorized FSP.
Because this journey is better taken together.
Let's walk the talk. 702.
Dumela, Khomozo and your team. Khomozo, what startles me is that the PEC has decided to remove the mayors together with the spokesperson this time. The local government elections is just around the corner. Don't they think that they have shot themselves in the foot? So what do the constituencies of such the mayors say? They should have thought twice. What they've done will lead to their dismal performance in the upcoming local government elections. Good afternoon, lovely sister. How's it from Brownsville?
Thank you so much for that voice note. Yeah, I think you speak about the removal of the 7 municipal mayors, the ANC in the Free State. Yeah, look, I do think it's going to be, it makes the whole thing turbulent, man, working towards elections. I can only imagine that when municipalities don't have mayors and are leaderless, how much can go wrong. But thank you so much for that voice note. I see some of your other WhatsApp messages here on our WhatsApp line. Someone saying, Khomotso, come to Cape Town. You're dressed for our weather, loving winter, enjoying it while it lasts. I should come to Cape Town because you know, today, and everyone is laughing at me. They all summer. They're looking so warm and so cool. And yeah, I missed the memo. I didn't realize it would be so hot. Are you like me and you rocked up at work, a jazz or a coat, and you're regretting it now? Someone else on the WhatsApp line saying 90% of Gauteng residents are renting. So this process of school application is just frustrating. And I can understand that, especially in those areas that are flagged, your Midrand, your Centurion. Many of those areas, they have apartments. And when the spatial planning was done or the town planning was done, I don't think that, it was factored in the number of schools that we would need. And as a result, there's just so many children in those areas that need schools and not enough schools. But the education department's Steve Mabona saying that the department is building schools.
Walking this talk together.
Every hour.
Every day. This is 702.
Let's walk the talk.
All right, let's go to the story now. So, Parliament's ad hoc committee, the police ad hoc committee investigating the allegations by General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, has been meeting today. They had a meeting on Monday, I believe, and they were expected to adopt their terms of reference. But they did not. There were some issues there, and they're back today with the hope of adopting those terms of reference. EWN reporter Babalo Ndenze is following that story for us, and he joins us now. Babalo, thank you so much. Have we seen terms of reference adopted so far?
No, they haven't adopted them yet, Khomotso. As you've just mentioned, they were supposed to do this on Monday. This is actually their third meeting now on the terms of reference. They expected or they anticipated that this would be quite a short process, not so long. But parties have had quite a lot to say and to add into the draft version that was presented to members. Also, a lot of disagreements over the terms of reference, issues around the external counsel that will be, assisting the committee, senior counsel and advocates, issues around the classified information, which they are still, debating about now just before we got on the phone, and also issues around witnesses and how these discussions, and how witnesses will be treated, as well as, legal representation for witnesses or people who come before the committee. So also, a laborious process really of going through every detail and every paragraph. They're now on the second paragraph. They've been meeting for just over an hour. So they've got about 14 pages to go through in totality. And it looks like there will be, they've scheduled the meeting until 3 o'clock, but it might go over like they did on Monday. So a lot of issues around disagreements on specifics in the terms of reference, still before the committee, nowhere near completion yet, but members are still, making a few corrections on spelling, as well as issues around certain words that should be changed. So that's where we still are at the moment, Khomotso.
Yeah. And just remind us, Babalo, what is the scope of this investigation?
It's quite a broad or wide scope, really. But the main issue, or the top point to mention on the scope, is that the committee agreed that they will be using Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi's allegations or his press conference, really, to be used as the basis to establish the approach the committee will be taking, when they decide on which appropriate witnesses to be invited. So Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi he will make a written submission before he appears orally before the committee. So he's the material witness, really, and what he says will really determine the way forward for the committee. And they'll also be looking at issues, the specifics on the scope of the inquiry on the 121 case dockets that were allegedly moved from the political killing task team as directed by the National Commissioner of Crime Detection, General Sibiya. It will also look at instability within the crime intelligence component of SAPS. Also the allegation of corruption between Minister Mkhunu and Mr. Brown Mkhotsi, as well as Mr. Mkhotsi, as well as Fusumzi Kat Matlala. And they will also look at, procurement issues around tenders in the police, specifically a 360 million rand SAPS healthcare tender, which was awarded to Fusumzi Matlala's company. So it's quite a long list of the scope, but those are some of the main issues that they'll be looking at over the next couple of months, Khomotso.
And very quickly, Babalo, when can we expect the work to start?
Well, the work should start soon. We'll get a clear idea at the end of this item, which is the terms of reference. They've added one more item to the agenda, which is the program of the committee. Now, this program might also, take quite a while, but they will be deciding at this agenda item when their first meeting will be and who the first witnesses will be and exactly where they will meet, whether it will be in Johannesburg or in Cape Town. Yeah. So that will be the last part of this meeting, Homotso, a bit later.
All right. That's Babalo Ndenze, EWN's parliamentary reporter there. He's reporting on Parliament's ad hoc committee's investigation into the allegations made by General Ndandla Mkhwanazi. It should not be confused with the Malanga Commission of Inquiry that's going to be beginning on the 1st of next month. All right, it's 12:30. Time now for our EWN headlines with Mbali Dlamini.
Thanks, Khomoto. Good afternoon. A 3-month-old baby has been rushed to hospital after being caught in gang crossfire in Bonteheuwel. Police say 2 gunmen entered a premises on Yellowwood Street and opened fire on residents. The suspects are still at large. Corruption-accused crime intelligence boss Dumsani Khumalo has assured the state he will not interfere with witnesses if his bail conditions are relaxed. Khumalo is currently appearing before the Pretoria Magistrates Court today, along with 3 of his co-accused. They are seeking to have their bail conditions relaxed. And SA Steel Mills employees want the Industrial Development Corporation to approve the sale of the company to an investor who will prioritise their interests. A group of frustrated workers has been picketing outside the IDC offices in Sandton today. SA Steel Mills has been under business rescue since last year and has requested for an expression of interest from a potential buyer. Those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 1 or as it happens.
EWN Sport.
Good afternoon, I'm Tolagile Mganga. Australia are chasing 278 for victory in the second ODI against South Africa, and the latest from their innings sees them on 132 for the loss of 4. They still need 146 runs from 23 overs for victory. Batting is Alex Carey on 13 alongside Josh Inglis on 57. Earlier, Matthew Bretzker scored 88 and Tristan Stubbs 74 as South Africa posted 277. The MTN 8 final lineup will be finalized tomorrow, with Stellenbosch taking a 2-0 lead into the second leg of their semi against Kokune United, while it's 1-1 between Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates. Miguel Cardoso is expecting another intense battle and is hoping for better quality football in this clash.
After we took a look on the first match, it was clear that it was not a very beautiful match of football, and I don't expect the second one to be much far away from that. The teams are more fighting rather than looking to play. Well, I hope that, of course, we can increase the level on the second match and see a more beautiful football match than we saw in the first one.
And Apelele Fassi will start at fullback in the Springboks' second rugby championship test against the Wallabies tomorrow, following the withdrawal of Willie Leroux due to a niggle. Leroux suffered the problem at training earlier this week and hasn't recovered in time to play. For New Zealand, hooker Cody Taylor will become the All Blacks' 14th test centurion, that's having been named to start against Argentina. Tolagile Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
Amuramela just walked into the studio. She's been side-eyeing me the whole morning and teasing me. Do you want to tell the listeners, Amu, what's a chindamlala?
Oh my goodness, it's a polar neck, basically. And the only reason why I picked on you is because it's so hot. It's really, really hot. And Khomoto comes in with this heavy polar neck jersey. It's beautiful. Nothing away from that. You know, it's warm. Absolutely nothing away. But girl, oh, the heat and this, it's like...
Now the listeners know why I've got this insecurity today.
I'm sorry. Well, let's start off in Cape Town. We do have the Springboks game taking place tomorrow at the DHL Stadium. So there will be road closures as well as delays around the Greenpoint Stadium. So please, if you can, if you're not heading towards this match, please try to avoid and find alternative routes. While roadworks are taking place on FW de Klerk Boulevard, outgoing at Lower Church Road, but all lanes are open. Do expect delays there. And then on the R300 southbound, more roadworks taking place in the right lane before the N2. Also expect delays there. In Gauteng, more roadworks on the N3 South near Marlborough Drive. Delays coming out of the Baklu interchange. There's also queuing traffic along the R21 South in the Tembisa area, also due to roadworks as you come out of Olifantsfontein Road. About a 10-20 minute hold up there, so please be patient if you already find yourself in this backlog. We'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. Like a businesswoman on the way to the airport after sleeping through her alarm. Bags in the back, boarding pass on the dashboard. She prays she'll make her flight.
Hope I make it.
The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic. It's the potential closing of a big deal. Every story's different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005. In proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Oh, Shane, do you have a sore throat? The Andalex range of lozenges offers two options. At the first signs of an irritated, scratchy throat, use Andalex lozenges for dual action, soothing relief. But for a painful, inflamed throat, use Andalex C lozenges for triple action, pain relief. Andalex, SA's #1 choice for a sore mouth and throat. Andalex lozenges are available at all leading pharmacies and supermarkets.
Just Andalex it.
The Festival of Motoring, powered by Westbank, brings the spirit of Ubuntu to the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit from the 29th to the 31st of August. Experience thrilling track drives, 4x4 adventures, drifting, supercar hot laps, and F1 demos. Get your tickets on Howler and use the promo code RADIO for a special discount. The Festival of Motoring, the power of new.
702 and Capitec are showcasing a new, exciting game changer for small and medium businesses, helping you cut costs and grow. Here's how you'll save.
So if we're looking at business is really a team sport. And we want a team who wants to be there. So having an engaged team is really a team that's more productive, it's more creative, it's more committed to the business's success. So building a positive company culture means you've got a team that goes above and beyond, boosting performance.
Small business focus with Capitec. No matter the size of your business, Capitec's got you on 702.
Because this journey is better taken together.
Let's walk the talk. 702.
Welcome back to the Midday Report with me, Khomoto Modise. I'm in for Mandy Wiener this afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's 37 minutes past 12. I'm looking at some of your WhatsApp messages. Someone here is saying, Khomoto, I applied for one school. System requires that I apply for four from system-generated list according to my feeder zone. But here's the thing. 5 of those schools were Afrikaans first language, and the system will... I can't apply for these since my child is English first language. Yeah, and this is the dilemma that many parents have, the challenge that many parents have. You live in an area that has primarily Afrikaans-speaking people, and so the schools are Afrikaans medium. And quite frankly, the only option is the English area. And I wonder what the department is going to be doing about that. We see the challenges every year where parents say, I could only apply to this school. I know you gave me these, but I can't, take my children to the other schools. But we will keep having Steve Mabona as well as the Education Department coming onto the show to give an update as we work towards the new academic year.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 and Cape Talk is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently.
All right, to the story now. Transnet, through its operating division, Transnet Rail Infrastructure, they've selected new train operating companies. This is to bolster up the capacity of Transnet to transport goods. And so they've selected 11 new operating companies to support its work, really. And EWN reporter Alpha Ramoshwana is out there and he joins us now live. Alpha, maybe let's just go into what the minister, the transport minister, Barbara Creasy, had to say this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Khomoto. So for some, this might be good news, especially for a Transnet that has been struggling to meet some of its targets in terms of transporting commodities each year through its freight rail network. And to alleviate or to solve that issue, Transnet decided to invite private players to create a more competitive and open market where they'll now be able to use Transnet's rail network to transport goods such as minerals and other type of cargo. And in December last year, you'd remember that they opened up some applications to private train operating companies to come and apply to qualify for this, the opening of the market. 11 of those companies that applied have been successful, and they're now going to engage Transnet in discussions and negotiations and contractual agreements. So those 11 companies that have successfully applied to use Transnet's rail network will now be assisting Transnet with transporting commodities, transporting minerals and other goods through some of Transnet's rail network. So essentially, Transnet at this moment is moving about 160 million tons of commodities on rail, and their target is to move about 250 million tons per year. So it means these private players will now be moving about 90 million tons of commodities on rail. They'll be assisting Transnet to meet its annual target of 250 million tons. Let's take a listen to some of those routes that are going to be utilized by the private players.
On a total of 41 routes and 6 corridors are as follows. The North Corridor, there will be 6 new entrants on 15 routes for the transportation of coal and chrome. On the Iron Ore Corridor, there will be 1 new entrant and 1 route for the transportation of iron ore. On the Cape Corridor, there will be 2 new entrants and 2 routes for the transportation of manganese. On the Northeast Corridor, there will be 6 new entrants, 16 routes for the transportation of coal, chrome, magnetite, fuel, and containers.
Alpha, I think a question that we many of us may have is how exactly were these private players selected?
They were not able, and those are some of the questions that we posed today to the Minister of Transport and the leadership of Transnet to ask what are the names of those companies that have been selected and that have successfully applied, and which other companies were not shortlisted. They were not able to give us those details at this stage. It seems they haven't communicated with those companies either. Minister Barbara Creasy also saying that after this announcement, they're going to be reaching out to the companies that have successfully applied to tell them that they're going to start engaging them and talking about contracts and such arrangements. And the companies that did not successfully apply as well are going to be reached out to by Transnet, and they're going to be given another opportunity to fix their applications and to see if they'll be able to meet the requirements this time to operate their trains on Transnet's rail network. Of course, one of the other concerns, Homoto, is that a lot of the cargo or commodities right now are being transported using trucks on roads, and the trucking industry certainly isn't going to be very happy that Transnet is getting back on its feet, that these commodities are now going to be moved on rail using public-private partnerships as well. And we asked the minister how she feels about possible litigation that we might see from some of the applicants that have not been successful and the trucking industry. And she said they would deal with it when the time comes. But of course, there's also concerns around what does this mean for state capacities. Transnet taking this decision because they've realized that they can't do it on its own, or is it because they can make more revenue from working with the private sector? Let's take a listen to what Barbara Creasy had to say with regards to that.
This is not about failure. This is about bringing our system in line with the way that railways are run across the globe. In our instance, we do not believe it's appropriate to privatize infrastructure ownership. And I've already explained to some extent why we don't believe that, and it's to do with the fact that we want there to be interoperability in a strategic economic asset of the country.
All right, Alpha Ramushwana, the EWN reporter who is out there at that press briefing by the Transport Department. Yeah, I do think that introducing private players can complicate issues for government. And so I hope that they do have the systems in place. I'm also wondering what the financial implications of introducing private players will be. And I hope we can get the Transport Minister to clarify a bit more for us. Vodacom is now the official telecommunications partner to all our national Springbok teams and SA rugby competitions. And when we say all, we mean every single one, from juniors to seniors, women's to men's, grassroots to World Cup glory. Vodacom is right there, connecting every try, tackle and team talk. This isn't just changing the game, it's creating extraordinary rugby moments. Vodacom, your front row seats to all things Springbok.
Are you living with diabetes? Tired of painful fingerstick tests? Introducing a new continuous glucose monitoring system from Abbott Laboratories. The Freestyle Libre 2 system sends glucose readings straight to your compatible smartphone. With minute-by-minute glucose readings, optional glucose alarms and excellent accuracy, the Freestyle Libre system is here to support you in the management of your diabetes. For more information and where to buy your Freestyle Libre 2 sensor, visit www.freestylelibre.za.com. Now available at your local pharmacy.
Year in, year out, we're fixing tires faster than a Formula One pit crew. My team is on top of things like tire whisperers. If an unforeseen accident were to happen in my workshop, at least I've got My Way business insurance to keep the wheels turning.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
The Festival of Motoring, powered by Westbank, brings the spirit of Ubuntu to the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit from the 29th to the 31st of August. Experience thrilling track drives, 4x4 adventures, drifting, supercar hot laps, and F1 demos. Get your tickets on Howler and use the promo code RADIO for a special discount. The Festival of Motoring, the power of new.
Walking this talk together.
Every hour.
Every day. This is 702.
Let's walk the talk.
12:47 right here on the Midday Report with me, Khomoto Mudise. I'm in for Mandy Wiener this afternoon. Thank you so much for your WhatsApps as well as your voice notes. Let's move to the story now that's been playing out in Sandton. There's been a protest right next door our Prime Media building at the IDC building in Sandton. And workers, SA steel mill workers have been demonstrating there this morning. I saw the group as I drove in. Ndogozo Kumalo, EWN reporter, has been out there and she's been covering the protest. Ndogozo, why are the workers particularly here outside the IDC?
Yes. Hi. So the workers are basically outside of the IDC calling for them to help them resolve this issue because SA Steel Mill has been under business rescue for more than a year now and they've not gotten any pay. So they're just asking the IDC to intervene in hiring the process for them to get money, get paid, and more than anything for whoever is to acquire the business to have their best interest top priority.
Mm-hmm. And did the IDC representatives say anything?
So they didn't necessarily say anything. They just said that they're going to have a meeting in the 1st of September with the union. They're going to discuss the demands that they had in the memorandum, which basically stated that they need whoever's going to acquire the business to have job creation first in mind, have the best interest of workers first, because it's almost 700 employees that will be affected by whoever buys this company.
Yeah. And I'm sure you spoke to some of the employees. What did they have to say?
I mean, you can only imagine if you've not received any pay for a long period of time that it affects your family. So they did say that they've been affected negatively by them not getting any salary for months on end. Someone even stated that it has even broken some of their families because they can't provide for them. And they're just tired, frustrated, hungry, some of them saying. So it's really a lot of disgruntled people that are just saying, we need answers, we need resolutions now.
Yeah. And of course, this is their second demonstration this year, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So what happens now? They've handed over a memorandum to the IDC. What happens?
Well, the union did say that we want 5 days to respond, not even 5 working days, but rather 5 days, because they are tired of coming here, wasting money, handing over a memorandum of demands and not having any resolution to them. Sorry. So then what they want answers. They want them to not stay silent. They want them to make sure whoever buys the company is a person who will keep top priority their interest more than anything. So they're saying that next time, if there's no response in the time frame that they've given, well, they will be left with no choice but to now go on to striking.
All right, Ntokozo Khumalo, thank you so much for that. You'll continue watching that story for EWN. Has the protest now dispersed? Is the group still there?
Yeah. So it's basically died down now, and everyone is gone now. And it was really peaceful. It was a moment where they had a time to interact with the management, and now they've said their own parts, and they're just waiting for the meeting that will be happening next month.
All right, thank you so much for coming in, Ntokozo Khumalo, EWN reporter, joining us in our Sandton studios. And it's one of those stories again where manufacturing jobs and just jobs in that sector being lost. And I really do hope that there will be some sort of a resolution for those workers. Real growth needs more than just banking, and Nedbank Commercial Banking is your growth partner. Their team of industry experts understand your business and its potential, offering insight to help you see opportunity where others see obstacles. Because when you can see what others don't, you can do what others can't. Think bigger. Think Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Hi everyone, I'm Dean McPherson, the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure. Since I was appointed just over a year ago, we've laid a firm foundation in the department, and after tabling our 7.6 billion rand budget for growth, we're now turning plans into action. That means that we're moving government departments into our own state-owned buildings to save you billions of rands in rent. We're unlocking public land to build affordable housing, create shelters for victims of gender-based violence, and to boost food production. We're also tackling corruption head-on without fear or favor. And we're giving young South Africans real opportunities through a reformed EPWP program that focuses on skills and long-term jobs. And this is only the beginning. With your support, we're building a capable and professional department that delivers infrastructure, creates jobs, and puts public assets to work for the public good. The best is yet to come because we're building a better country for you, brick by brick.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. Like the lady on her way to work, listening to a love song on the radio. She's recreating the music video in her mind with herself as the leading lady. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's a concert on the move. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Because this journey is better taken together.
Let's walk the talk. 702.
Good afternoon, name is KJ. Trust you're well. I know it's going to be a beautiful day. Great job, eh? I can see your star rising and shining even brighter than it is already. Keep up the great work.
Thank you so much, my brother. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Sports Wrap.
Sports Wrap.
With Tolagele Mganga.
Tolagele Mganga, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Komusomodise.
It's a busy sporting week. Is it Pirates and Sundowns up today? This weekend?
Today.
This
Imagine.
weekend.
No, we still need to rest a little bit. The MTN 8 semi-finals, the second leg of those semi-finals take place tomorrow. Of course, we know that the first leg back at Orlando Stadium finished 1-1. So it is two teams that are kind of in contrasting form. Sundowns, even though they're winning, there is a little bit of chaos in terms of players wanting to leave. The club being a little bit reluctant to release those star players, while Orlando Pirates in midweek got back to winning ways in terms of the league itself. So that is the star game of this weekend. But in the other encounter, Stellenbosch leads Kokune United 2-0. Staley's going to that game wanting to book back-to-back final appearances in this competition because they did take on Orlando Pirates last season. Unfortunately, fell one game short. But it will be a nice one for football fans as they get into the new season. It's games every 3 days now at this point. So it's a great afternoon tomorrow. We know that the game at Lucas Moripe Stadium is actually sold out. So people shouldn't even be trying to get tickets at this point. They can watch it on TV. And then if there's other football they're looking forward to, there's obviously the English Premier League, which continues. The big game, though, of the Premier League this weekend will be on Monday night. Okay. That's where Newcastle go up against Liverpool. For those that have been watching a lot of the transfer stories will know that Newcastle striker Alexander Isak has been wanting to leave the club in order to join Liverpool. In midweek, he spoke about broken promises by Newcastle. The club themselves said unless a team bids the amount they want, he's going to stay. He's currently training alone, so it's very unlikely that he will play this game. But the fixtures start from tonight with that London derby between West Ham and Chelsea. Then Arsenal take on Leeds, while Manchester United are up against Fulham on Sunday.
All right. And then, of course, we've got the Proteas also playing.
Yes, they're currently on the go in their clash against Australia. We know that they won their first ODI by 98 runs. They're currently involved in the second ODI. Australia 174 for the loss of 5 wickets. They're chasing 278 for victory. South Africa will want to just win this series in order to start building momentum. Of course, they've got the T20 World Cup happening in February and March next year. But any win is a win, regardless of what format of the competition it is. There are concerns about key players. Themba Pavuma missing out on this one as part of his workload management. But considering he's just come back from a hamstring injury, you can understand why management is trying to ease him in. We know Kagiso Rabada is not playing this game because he has an ankle injury. So there will be those issues for Shukri Conrad and the rest of management to be worried about.
And the US Open, if you're a tennis person.
Yes, there's a lot of tennis taking place starting from Sunday. Yannick Sinner, he'll be looking to impress. But also importantly, the Springboks take on Australia in the second game in Cape Town tomorrow. We know what happened at Ellis Park last week. They'll be looking to right a lot of those wrongs. It'll be an interesting game. And we learned today that Apelele Fassi has now been drafted into the starting 15 in place of the injured Willie Leroux.
All right. Tolagela, thank you so much for that. So if you're a sports person, I'm sure you will be well entertained throughout this weekend.
Good things.
Good things.
With Brent Lindecky.
It's a Friday, so good things with Brent Lindecky. Let's hear what's happening on that side.
Hey, 702 in Cape Talk, it's Friday, and you know what that means. 3 good things to carry us into the weekend, delivered to you by me, your good things guy. First up, 30 Rand, a cake, and a whole lot of love. There's an old saying that it's the little things that matter, and this week, South Africans proved it's true in the most heartwarming way. A viral video showed 3 men approaching an unsuspecting cleaner while he was busy doing his job. Each man was actually holding a 10 Rand note. One was carrying a chocolate cake. And all of them were beaming with excitement. What happened next? Well, they burst into song and dance, showering him with the cash and cake while telling him, "You're not just a cleaner, you're our brother and you're loved." The cleaner's face lit up with the biggest smile, and South Africans cannot get enough of it. The video's had over 2.2 million views, more than 15,000 comments, and countless offers from people wanting to send money to keep the kindness going. All it took was 30 Rand and a cake to make a man feel seen and valued, and in the process, inspired a nation to pay it forward. Next up, at the Malatsatsi Foundation, a little South African arrived with doctors saying that he might never walk again. Playtime with other kids was very difficult. Every movement unsteady, every step a struggle. But there was a spark in his eyes and a determination that said, this story isn't over. With the support of the team, endless encouragement, and his own grit, small milestones became bigger ones. Shaky steps turned into strides, and strides turned into play without limits. Today, this little champion not only walks, he runs, he climbs, he rides bikes, and he thrives. Watching him now, it's hard to believe he ever struggled. His journey is proof that with love, support, and courage, even the toughest challenges can be overcome. And lastly, a wedding day has gone to the dogs, but in the best way. Most brides dream about their venue, their dress, their decor. But for newlywed Chloe Sturmhate, her dream day wasn't complete without her dogs. And when she married her husband Adam at a castle in Shongweni, that dream came true. Their theme was nature and dogs. Adam wore green, Chloe's dress was sprinkled with flowers, and the bridesmaids wore earthy tones to honor her roots. But the real stars were her pups. Her own dogs walked down the aisle, extra furry guests came along, and even rescue pups joined the celebrations during Canopy Hour. Guests got to cuddle them and even donate to Paw Prince Rescue. One friend loved the idea so much, she pledged to adopt 2 dogs on the spot. For Chloe and Adam, it was more than just a wedding. It was a celebration of family, of love, and of giving dogs the place they deserve, right at the heart of it all. And that's your Friday dose of good things. For more good things, follow goodthingsguy.com. Go into the weekend with that reminder small acts can spark big change. And as I say every week, wishing you only good things.
Thank you, Brent, for that update. I hope that it's left our listeners feeling warm and fuzzy inside. All right, this does bring us to the end of this installment of the Midday Report with me, Khomozo Modise. I've been in for Mandy Wiener. Thank you so much for being so kind. And she's back next week. The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 Cape Talk is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. Think bigger, think Nedbank Commercial Banking. Goodbye.
This is EWN.
A 3-month-old baby has been killed in gang-related violence in Cape Town, and corruption-accused Dumsani Khumalo wants bail conditions relaxed. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. We begin with a development from the Western Cape. The 3-month-old baby that was rushed to hospital after being caught in gang